Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to introduce our speaker this morning, Dr. Amy Moore. Dr. Amy is a cognitive psychologist, clinical researcher, board-certified Christian counselor, TEDx speaker, host of the Brainy Moms podcast, an ADHD mom, and a mom with ADHD. Her groundbreaking neuroplasticity research has been published in peer-reviewed medical and psychology journals and presented at conferences around the country. She has a master's degree in education, a PhD in psychology, and 30 years of experience working with children and families. Please help me give a warm welcome to Dr. Amy Moore.
So this presentation is called Hacking the ADHD Brain. This is for parents who have ADHD kids. This is for teachers and clinicians who work with people with ADHD. And this presentation is for people like me who have ADHD themselves. Kids and adults with ADHD have at least 3 of those 7 skills that are weak: working memory, long-term memory, and processing speed. And the prevailing wisdom is we treat attention when working memory, long-term memory, and processing speed are just sitting down here unaddressed. All right, so how do we improve all of these cognitive skills? Well, everybody should be playing games. You should have a game closet, a game shelf, games under your bed, games everywhere. And so these are a few of my favorites. We actually have a list of games and the cognitive skills that they improve, and so we'll give you a link to that list at the end of this. But kids with ADHD probably need more than games. They probably need a formal intervention, training for those cognitive skills. Games are fantastic for engaging cognitive skills, but for remediating cognitive skills, you probably need a formal intervention. And so that's where my clinical research is focused, on cognitive skills training. It's based on this idea of neuroplasticity, that the brain is capable of changing with experience. So in our Learning RX centers and Brain RX centers, that training is delivered one-on-one, and that enables adjustments, it enables motivation, it increases self-efficacy. A cognitive trainer that can individualize and personalize the intervention. Our programs are paced. Almost every single one of the tasks are paced by a metronome to increase intensity, to increase processing speed, and we also use a stopwatch to make you do it faster and faster and faster. And interestingly, what do the accommodations in schools look like for kids with ADHD? Quiet room. Isolation, slow things down, preferential seating. Say again, more time on tests, more time on assignments. Does the real world work like that? No, in the real world, we exist amidst enormous distractions. And so in cognitive training at Learning RX and Brain RX, we actually provide deliberate distractions. 2 ways. Our trainers will try to distract the clients while they're doing a task, doing something funny, singing a song, saying something offbeat. But then we also have environmental distractions. We don't put our students in a quiet room, right? They are training in a large area with other clients with lots of different metronomes ticking and lots of noise so that we can train attention amidst distractions, like the real world. And then, of course, we measure everything. We do pre- and post-assessments so that we can quantify that change. And then many kids with ADHD also have reading and math struggles as well. If their cognitive skills are weak, they haven't been able to adequately learn reading and math skills. So we can provide that remediation as well, delivered through that same cognitive training approach. And then what sets us apart is research. Since the 1990s, there's been 42 research studies conducted on this methodology, 17 of which have been published in peer-reviewed journals. And so I've been the lead researcher on many of those studies. And so it's important to know that when you're looking for an intervention for your child or yourself with ADHD, that you look for an intervention that has peer-reviewed research. Not research that supports that type of program, but research on that program. All right, so here are some tips for improving cognitive skills in ADHD. Play board games all the time. Choose those apps wisely and limit the amount of time that you spend on them. Get those cognitive skills tested. That's the best way to find out which ones are weak. And then consider cognitive skills training, something that addresses those multiple cognitive skill deficits that we've documented again and again and again in research. And you can get that at LearningRx centers in the United States and Canada, and at BrainRx centers around the world. All right, so the 5 pillars of ADHD: sleep, nutrition, emotion regulation, physical exercise, and cognitive skills. And so when you're working with a child, or you have a child, or you have ADHD, and you have been doing interventions, and those symptoms are still uncontrolled, ask yourself about deficits in these 5 areas. Think about ways that you can plus up functioning in these 5 areas. This is a message of hope. I always say that we are not stuck with the cognitive cards we've been dealt. So with some lifestyle changes and an intervention that targets more than just attention, you or your child have a recipe for hope. Thank you.